Howdy there folks, this is Quinn, that's Snazzy iPhone Guy, and this is the video review of the Capture camera clip system by Peak Design. Now this was a Kickstarter project that got more than, I think, $250,000 worth of funding, which is pretty incredible. And the guy who's running it is obviously elated, and I'm really happy that he was able to make this product come true. As I stated, I was an early adopter, so I did get this for 50 bucks, but I think it's now $79.99. So 80 bucks is a little bit steep, but it depends if this is the type of product you need. Now lately I've been doing a lot of photo shoots. I just offer my services online. I think I'm hired quite often because I'm pretty cheap, but I also do pretty decent work. And so I've really done a lot of modeling, photography. I mean, just, you know, typical shoot around, senior portrait kind of crap. And it's been a lot of fun. But one of my constant problems is changing lenses out and then repositioning my subject. So a lot of the times I'll need to put my camera down and I get dirt on the camera, or I'll put it on something else and I'm worried it'll fall, or I'll hold it in one hand while I'm switching lenses and I almost drop it. And it really has just become, quite honestly, a disaster for me to change stuff out. And it's really been a constant struggle that I've had, and I'm kind of wondering to myself, you know, how do I change this? And how do I find a system that allows me to switch out lenses and talk to the person I'm shooting without having to hold my camera and this, that, and the other? And Capture has really changed the way I've done this. Now, I've only had this for about a week and a half, but I've done already, what would it be, three photo shoots with it, and it's been a lifesaver. Now there are some complaints and woes I have about it, but generally it's really good. Now what you have first here is this red release button. You push that and this little plate will slide off. This is your mounting plate. You need to screw this on to the bottom of your camera. It could be an SLR. I mean, you could even do this with consumer cameras if you really wanted to. I can see this as a kind of a cool touristy little deal. It would be expensive for most tourists, but you could use this for really any camera that has a tripod threading down there on the bottom. Now there's also more threading for an actual tripod, so you don't have to remove this base plate once it's on, which is nice. I needed to film a video the other day and I wasn't required to take this base plate off because I just mounted it here, which is again really freaking awesome. Now you mount this on the bottom of your camera, and then you have this part. Now this is the weird part. You unscrew these, and once you've unscrewed them enough, this will swing out. Okay, so you need to put your belt in here, or a backpack, or I mostly use my lens bag, so I'll put my lens bag through here, and then you close it up and you tighten it, and then this acts as a plate that's mounted on your body or mounted on this, that, or the other. You can mount it on your belt. And so let's say we mounted it on our belt right here, and our belt is running through here, which is awesome. You take this plate, your camera really, and you can slide this in. Now there's a locking mechanism. This isn't going to come out at all with any force. And then when you need to get your camera back, you push this red button and you slide it right out. It's a really simple product, but it's really well executed. It's made out of machined aluminum, really high quality stuff, and I really, really loved using it. I'm going to go into my full body shot so you can see me use it and me attach it to different things. And there are some obvious complaints that I have, and I'll get into those in just a minute. So let's get going. So we've got the Capture loosened, and all we need to do to get it into our belt is pull up, get it hoisted, and then bring it around the other way and fasten it. Now you can obviously attach this anywhere on a belt you want. It also works great on backpacks and bags and anything of that sort. So once we have it attached here, you slide in this way. There's a lock or a stopper on this side so that it doesn't come out. And this is great because it can be discreet when you're not using it. You actually can't even tell it's there. It's really nice. I mean, it's obviously there, but it's not that big of a deal, not that annoying. And then when you're ready to use it, you pull it up, you take your camera, and you can take your camera and mount it in any direction you want. But you throw it in there and you're good to go. Now, like I said, you can mount this in any direction as the mount in the actual camera. The bottom plate will mount in any which way. So you could mount it lens up, lens down. There's a couple things that I want to note about mounting. It's pretty easy. As you can see, I struggle almost every time, just a little bit when I get it in. It gets stuck a little bit right there. It's not a big deal. I mean, if you wiggle it around, that problem will be alleviated, but it is something of note. If you can see right now, it obviously hangs down off the side of my belt. When you have longer lenses, it'll keep hitting your leg when you walk, which probably isn't good for the camera itself, and it's extremely uncomfortable on your leg. So the concept in and of itself is very basic and very simple. Slide out, slide in, you're good to go. One other thing that I want to note is there's no safety mechanism. You know, there's no fail-safe. If you drop it, you drop it. If you don't slide it in exactly right, you may get a false click or something and you drop it and you're done. It's gone. So there's only one in. I like to jiggle it just so I know it's in. You can hear that sound. Even though it jiggles, it is actually secure. There's a tiny knob right down here, and this will allow you to tighten it so extremely that even if you do press the red release button, the camera will not come out. It will actually latch itself to the plate. So if you're in an area where you absolutely 100% need to ensure that it's not going to come off, not that it would anyway, but that is something you can do. Now in terms of weight, I have here a Canon T2i, which is a decent sized SLR. It's one of the smaller ones. And I have a Zakos dual battery grip with 2 batteries underneath. And then I have my Plastic Wonder 50mm 1.8 lens. Okay, so this is a pretty heavy camera. I mean, it's a DSLR that has some weight to it. It's about as big with this dual battery grip and about as heavy as the 40 and 60Ds from Canon and some of the bigger cameras from Nikon. This is still a relatively compact SLR. I mean, it's no Mark III. You know, it's a pretty small camera as it is, but even still, when I attach it, not only does it hang out pretty extremely from the side of my body, or if I mounted it in the front, extremely from the front, what you're going to notice is it does seem to always be there. I mean, it's never something where you snap it on and you forget it's there. You're always going to know this is there. You're always going to feel it. It may not be a distraction all the time, but you are going to feel it there. Now, when you're standing, when you're doing this kind of stuff, it's absolutely great. It actually isn't that big of a deal at all. When you start to walk, you'll notice that the plate will pull down and pull into the side of your leg, and that's when things get a little bit uncomfortable. Now, obviously, it depends on the tightness of your belt, but even when I had my belt as tight as I could still feel the camera hanging down, therefore pushing the bottom of the plate into my leg, causing quite a bit of discomfort. Now, one of the great features about the Capture is the ability to change lenses right when you're here. So I have my 50mm right here, and I'm going to take my 55 by 250 telephoto lens, and you can swap these out. You have both hands, which is great. I mean, you just throw your camera right here, and the sensor on the camera is not going to get dirt or anything of that sort into it. You take your camera, you got your lens, and you attach it to the camera very nicely and easily. Now, as you can see, when I put that telephoto lens on, it hung down even more. This is what I'm talking about. When you walk, this is going to jostle around and bump against your leg, and it causes quite a bit of discomfort in your hip area as well as the place it's touching on your leg. And the camera, I can't imagine it's good for the actual mount or the O-ring on the camera when it's constantly being jostled against the leg, and there's quite a bit of force that goes on the lens and the actual body itself. So that is something of note. Again, this isn't a huge camera. We're getting a little bit bigger. We have a smaller medium-sized telephoto, 55 by 250, but you wouldn't want to put any bigger lens on this. And in fact, even right now, it's a little bit outrageous. I mean, you could mount it upwards and you're not going to notice the lens banging against you. It'll actually fall away from you. However, it is going to dig even more into the side of your hip, causing quite a bit of discomfort. So in the end, and what I'm trying to convey is the Capture is a great product in and of itself. It's well executed, it does what it advertises, and it really is just a quick release mechanism, which is great for photography and short shooting and stuff like that. Now, it's not going to be good for pro-line cameras that are heavy, that have a lot of weight to them, that have bigger lenses and everything of that sort. Now, if you're in this kind of class right here, you'll be fine. Any bigger than this and it's going to become quite a problem. And even now, even as it is, it's a bit of a joke having to use this in this form. It's great when I just need to hook it real quick and tell the person I'm shooting to move over or to do this or to put their arm up, or I can switch lenses out, or I can reach down into my bag, and it's not a big problem. But as you can see right here, I don't want to walk around the city with this and expect to be a tourist with this on the side, release, and be good to go. I mean, it just doesn't happen that way. One of the other things you can mount with the Capture is you can mount it on your shoulder, or you can mount it so that it's on your backpack. This is great. I went backpacking with my camera the other day. I didn't have anything other than the kit lens and the 50mm, but it was absolutely brilliant because it just hung right here. This was actually the best configuration I found. A shoulder strap bag won't be good because it'll hang in the wrong direction and it's very uncomfortable, but a backpack, it actually mounted really, really nicely. That being said, there still are some problems. The capture's great for people that have light cameras. If you're a consumer, if you have a little point and shoot, or even like a micro 3/5 camera, you're gonna be fine. If you're getting into the SLR and kind of heavy duty photography stuff, it's gonna become a little bit more comical than practical. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, rate, comment. You can pick the capture up for $80 at, I think it's peakdesign.com. And as always, stay snazzy. Thanks for watching. See you later, folks.